I cleared her spine, so I was pretty confident that we could zero in on her knee. And honestly, what made me confident about moving forward was she was suddenly not fearful anymore. She had been fearful of doing, just a body weight squat, which for Emily is like, brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a strong woman.
Yes.
And so, for her to have fear on such a basic movement was interesting for me to observe. And then after doing just some, I don't know, maybe 3 sets of 10 repetitions of extension, she was like, oh, this feels much better. Let me grab this kettlebell. And I'm like, no, don't grab the kettlebell.
2 kettlebells.
So yeah, her fear was resolved very quickly. So that was an interesting observation.
Yeah. From a physical examination standpoint, help us get a brief picture of what you saw. You saw end range pain and loss of motion into knee extension.
Actually, more knee flexion initially. Okay. I looked back at my notes. I had put her down as a moderate loss of motion for knee flexion, min for extension. However, it had improved over the 5 days between our little mini eval and our actual eval. So she probably had a moderate loss of motion, 5 days prior for both directions of movement.
Sure. Some in the general physical therapy world might look for atrophy. They might look for swelling. They might do a McMurray's or some other special tests, orthopedic tests. Mm-hmm. Did you do any of that? And did you see anything? Did you observe anything else that was of note?
No, I pretty much did a straight McKenzie eval, but using her body weight squat as the baseline, and also stairs. I think we had you try going up and down the stairs a few times. Okay. So no, I didn't really do anything else.
But that full of examination showed you a similar reaction in that you've got a sudden rapid change with a concordant test of squatting better afterwards. And the range of motion, did that change as well or no?
I believe so. For sure, her extension was looking better. I think the flexion took a little bit longer to come along. We're talking 4 years ago here, so yeah. I'd have to look back in my notes, but I feel like extension was responding quite well, and flexion took a little bit longer. Okay,
and just a brief, again, clinical question. Sorry, Emily, we're getting nerdy here on you.
That's fine.
But from a standpoint of the clearing the spine, what did you do and what made you feel confident, and why in the world would you need to test the spine anyway? The lady told you clearly that she got out of the car quickly. She had an MRI test. She that she had this previous occasion with the opposite knee.
Yeah. Well, because the McKenzie police usually will show up at my door if I don't, but no, I just felt the need to rule that out because honestly, I often am surprised, that something that seems so clearly to be a peripheral joint is related to the spine. So I've just learned over the years that it's better to rule that out from the get-go or rule it in. And then there's no backtracking to try to figure it out. So
hear the entire episode for free on iTunes, Spotify, other favorite podcast players, or go to mechanicalcareforum.com.